Okay, hello, everybody. Hello, Alex. Hello, Will. Hello. Actual face shot. There we go. Yeah. So this is the last game of 7th edition 40k that we're going to be playing, or we're going to be videoing on the channel.
Maybe not ever.
Yeah, maybe not ever. It depends how 8th goes. But until 8th drops, this is the last game we're going to play.
So what might be?
So we have decided to see 7th edition out with a bit of a bang. We are playing 7,000 points of Death Guard and Word Bearers, going up against 7,000 points of Dark Angels and Blood Angels. We'll see those armies in a minute. This is the table we're going to be using today. So there's lots of terrain. We haven't worked out deployment zones yet. We haven't placed objectives. We will be playing tactical objectives, but we will not be playing mysterious objectives. I think there'll be enough rules for us to try and keep track of without having to worry about that. So it's going to be big. When you see Will's army in a bit and you compare them to mine, it's going to be interesting.
Just classic Will, though.
So the way we're working this, we have 4,000 points on the board at the beginning of turn 1, and then at the start of turn 3, the remaining 3,000 points will come in for each side.
Okay.
Or are we rolling for it as of turn 3?
What I was assuming was that we do the first 3,000 points as a normal army list, so it comes in with its normal rules. So obviously without
the 4,000 points on the table.
Sorry, yeah, the first lot is a standard game.
Yeah.
And then the next lot adheres to again as if you're starting the game again with that fresh army. So you can't just everything just comes on. You still have to as if it's turn 1 with that army.
Oh right, okay.
That's how I see it.
So on turn 3 we roll for stuff.
Yeah, on turn 3 it becomes
I guess so.
It becomes because it's like a reserve. You're calling in reserves. That's how I see it.
So does that mean Will auto loses in turn 3 because his knights and everything can't come on? Are you?
Well, it's a joint army.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
So
it's fine.
I was worried about stuff not coming on until like 10, 5, 6.
Yeah, but that's
that's
what I was. Because we can have so much on the table.
No, you're right.
We've got like 4,000 on the table already. I think we can survive till turn 3.
I definitely can.
But it's up to you. It's up to you guys.
That makes sense to me.
Because otherwise everything just comes on. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, we're not playing a turn limit. No. We're just going to play until either we can't play anymore or somebody gets utterly destroyed. And then obviously points at the end win. So you can get tabled but still win on points. But yeah, we shall see.
We do the bloods in terms of not just.
Oh yeah, each force. So Word Bearers and Death Guard, and then Dark Angels and Blood Angels have their own warlords.
What about first blood for each army? I think your whole army's not on, is it? Till doesn't mean that's not fair.
No, so each team can score first blood. So it's not really first blood, but each team can score it, but only in the first turn. We're not going to play Linebreaker.
No point.
And obviously, we've already mentioned Slay the Warlord. There's 2 points up for grabs each side, but there's shed loads more points up for grabs for those guys against me once you see what my Warlord is.
King Warlord is worth 2 points. So you've got one's worth 2 points, one worth 1. So it's almost like a 3 points up for grab.
It just makes it more complicated. I think we're just trying. It's complicated enough already. So we'll be placing the 6 objectives in a bit. We'll be working out what game type and what deployment zone we're coming to. We'll show you the armies now, and then we'll come back to you after deployment. Okay, so we just had a little bit of a discussion off camera because we realised that the whole reserve conversation was immensely confusing for us, so God knows what it was like for everybody watching. So, it's good luck trying to work out what the hell we're talking about. So, what we've just decided is turn 3 is when reserves will come in. If we have things like drop pods, which you'll see in a minute I do, orbital assault kicks in, so half the drop pods automatically turn up, and I also roll for the rest of my reserves as per normal. And Alex and Will, if they've got any drop pods in reserve, then half of them will automatically come in, and they can also roll for all the rest of their reserves in turn 3 as well. So in theory, we could end up with the entirety of the remaining 3,000 points for each player coming in on turn 3, but at the very least, half of my stuff's going to come in. So, yeah, hopefully that cleared it up a little bit.
Makes sense.
But there's also the caveat of the first lot of army will adhere to the normal rules, so I can still get reserved in turn 2. So my first lot...
Oh, yeah. So the first 4,000 points, we're essentially splitting the game in two, but there's added reserve rolls at turn 3.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll explain it as we go, but hopefully that sort of made a bit of sense. Okay, so here are the armies, and we'll come back after deployment. Okay, so this is what 14,000 points actually looks like on the table. We've got 7,000 points of Word Bearers and Death Guard at 30k against 7,000 points of Dark Angels, 30k with an Allied Knight detachment, because will, and a 40k Blood Angel list at the back, made up of formations over there. So let's have a look what we've got. Right, where's the edge of that? Right, okay, so that is 3,500 points of 30k Word Bearers, using the Last of the Serrated Sun Rite of War. So we have got first HQ and Warlord is Zardu Lyak with his 2 Blade Slaves. He chose from Malefic Demonology, so he's obviously got Primaris of Summoning, he's got Cursed Earth, and he's got something else that's crap. Some kind of, I think it's the Strength 4 beam weapon or something. So I don't really think he'll be doing all that much. To fulfill charismatic leadership, we have a bog standard Centurion, Artificer Armour, Power Weapon, Melter Bombs, Refractor Field, upgraded to Burning Law. He's got Telepathy, so he's got Psychic Shriek, and he rolled Hallucination. And then we've got a level 2 Librarian, Cataphractii Armour, Force Axe, don't think he's got anything else. He rolled on Telepathy as well, and he got Terrify and something else, the number 3. I can't remember. If you just bring the paper over, well, I've got it all written on there.
Mental Fortitude?
Mental Fortitude and Terrify, and obviously the Primaris as well.
And he's got a Blood Letter.
Yes, up there. So, right, on to troops. So I'm running the Last of the Serrated Sun Rite of War, hence all the drop pods. Troops, we have a 5-man Galvor back squad. The Dark Martyr there with all the flames on has Artificer Armour and a Power Fist. They are in a Dreadclaw. Next troop choice, we have a 10-man tactical squad. Sergeant here with the black hat has Artificer Armour and Melter Bombs. They have a Vexilla and a Nunciovox, is that little bald guy at the back there. They're in a drop pod, and they have Dark Channeling, which I'll roll for in a second because I forgot to do it when I was setting everything up. Exactly the same just behind them. Sergeant there with the black stripe on his head. We've got a 5-man support squad there with Melters. They're in a drop pod. Sergeant there with the Mark III helmet has Artificer Armour. We then have an 8-man tactical support squad with plasma guns. Sergeant with the bionic eye, I think is, where is he? That guy there. Again, Artificer Armour, and again in a drop pod. Elites, we've got a Contemptor Mortis with Carey's assault cannons and the Havoc launcher. We've got a 5-man Terminator squad here, 4 combi plasmas, 1 plasma blaster, and a sprinkling of power fists and chain fists, and there's a lightning claw in there as well. They're in a Dreadclaw drop pod. We have a single quad mortar battery with 2 guns. They have shatter shells, and we have a rapier battery with 2 guns in there as well. Fast attack, we have a Dreadclaw drop pod, which Zardu Lyak and his Blade Slaves are going to be in. We've got a 5-man Seeker squad. There are 4 combi melters, and the Sergeant doesn't have any upgrades. They're in a drop pod. And then in heavy support, we've got a Leviathan Siege Dreadnought in a Dreadnought drop pod. he's got Gravflux Bombard, Phosphex Dischargers, the Claw, and Armored Ceramite. So that is the Word Bearers side of things. So now, for another 5 minutes worth of talking about stuff, here is the Death Guard, 3,500 points. I am running the Reaping as the Rite of War. So let's have a look. So HQ first of all, we've got 5 Death Shroud. What you see is we get Melter Bombs and Rad Grenades. We have a Primus Medicae in there. He has Artificer Armour, Refractor Field, Power Sword, Rad Grenades, Refractor Field. I think I've also said that already. We then have a Siege Breaker with a Combi Volkite and Thunderhammer in Cataphractii Terminator Armour. Troops, we have a 10-man Assault Squad down here. In there is a Power Maul, which is that guy at the back with the Thunderhammer. I ran out of Maul models, so I just had to use that. And there's a Power Sword. Sergeant in the middle there has Artificer Armour, Combat Shield, Power Fist and Rad Grenades. Next troop choice is a 10-man Heavy Support Squad, taken as troops because of the Reaping Rite of War. Sergeant, the guy with the metal faceplate there, has Artificer Armour and an Augury Scanner, and they all have autocannons. We've got a 15-man Tactical Squad, obviously all with bolters. The Sergeant in the middle has Artificer Armour, Power Scythe and Rad Grenades, and there is a Vexilla. They also have additional close combat weapons. And then finally, due to the Reaping, we have a 6-man Veteran Squad here. The Veteran Sergeant has the Power Scythe, that chap there. He's also got Rad Grenades and Artificer Armour. And then there are 2 Power Mauls, 2 Power Swords, and a Lightning Claw on that chap at the back. The single fast attack choice that I'm allowed is made up of an Outrider Squad. So the Sergeant in there has a Power Fist and Rad Grenades. There is also 1 Power Axe and 1 Power Sword. Then into Heavy Support, we have 5-man Grave Warden Squad. The Chem Master, who's the guy with the Power Fist there, has Rad Grenades. There's also a Heavy Flamer and 4 Chain Fists. And then we have the Leviathan over there with Armoured Ceramite, Phosphex, that's the most complicated word in the world. Phosphex Discharger and the Siege Drill. And I've just realised I skipped over Elites by accident. And my Elites is an Apothecarian detachment with 3 Apothecaries. We have 1 with Artificer Armour, Augury Scanner and Power Sword. The guy in the middle has just Artificer Armour and a Power Sword. And the guy on the right has a Jump Pack and a Power Sword. And they all have Rad Grenades. And then finally we have the Contemptor Dreadnought Talon. First one on the left there has a Graviton gun in his fist, and he's got a multi-melter. And the guy on the right has a Chain Fist with a Graviton gun and a twin-linked Volkite Culverin. So, that eventually, 8 minutes later, is, I can't get high enough, is 7,000 points of Heresy Traitors, made up of Word Bearers and Death Guard. So let's go and have a look at what's staring me in the face across the table. Okay, and this is 7,000 points roughly. Well, I think mine's a few points under actually. 7,000 points of Imperial Knights, 30k Dark Angels, and 40k Blood Angels. So, Will, what have you got? Let's start on the left and we'll work our way through.
Okay, so we've got a Knight Household Allied Detachment,
sure.
It's called. So we've got a Knight. The HQ choice is the buffed up
Seneschal.
The Seneschal.
Yep.
And then we've just got a regular Knight at the back. He hasn't he's not the cheaper, less good version. He's just
a normal guy.
Regular Knight. They're both paladins.
Okie dokie. So, as you may have noticed from Will's list, he has basically no infantry, just a little Terminator squad and some
2 dudes with
dudes and a dude at the front. Will's running Armoured Breakthrough.
It's so nice to be on the other side of this.
Who's your warlord, Will? Oh yeah, we're each having a warlord per detachment, basically. So there's 2 points up for grabs for Slay the Warlord.
Yes. I've got a Praetor here, but he's not my warlord.
Okay, who's your warlord?
The warlord is going to be the tank again.
Okay, so tank commander.
Yep, in a Predator.
Yep.
Predator cannon, 2 las cannons.
Yep.
He's got all of the... Well, we'll go through it anyway. He's got Power of the Machine Spirit. And then there's 4 Predators in Troops Choice.
Individual choices each.
Individual Predators,
Yep.
all with cannon, las cannons. And they've got Stormbolter pintle mount as well. All with Power of the Machine Spirit.
Yep.
That way.
Yep.
So in heavy support, we've got a Vindicator squad, 3 Vindicators. 2 of them have got Power of the Machine Spirit, so we'll say again, this one doesn't.
Yep.
Just to make it easy. All with pintle bolters again. A Whirlwind Scorpius.
Yep.
Again with a pintle bolter.
Yep.
But apart from that, nothing.
Down here?
Down here, we've got a Land Raider with a 5-man Tartaros Terminator squad.
Sure.
WYSIWYG, so few Lightning Claws, few Power Fists, and all with the Volkite.
Yep. Okay, and is there anything special on the Land Raider?
No, just a normal stock Land Raider.
Phobos.
Yes, it's Phobos.
Yep.
Leviathan.
Yep.
With the Storm Cannon, the Claw, Flamers, not Volkite, and Phosphex. No Armoured Ceramite on anything, actually. Other Elite's choice is 2 Contempt Cortuses.
Is that 1 Talon?
No.
It's just individual ones?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
my
cool.
3 Elite's choices.
Sure.
So 2 Carries Cannons, Fist, Bolter in the Fist. Nothing else of note.
Okay. And then down here?
These guys are in Land Raider Proteus,
Okay.
the one that isn't the Assault Land Raider.
Yep. So it's the one with the golden thing on the front, is how we'll remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And with the nice bolts.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Each rivet picked out individually.
Wow.
Yeah.
It will be on all of them. It takes ages.
Cool.
And then we've got the Praetor, who's got a Paragon Blade, Artificer Armour, Iron Halo.
Yep.
I think that's all for him. And he's got a 2-man chosen command squad.
Okay,
with
cool.
Just generic gear.
Awesome. Okay, so that is roughly 3,500 points. Okay.
3,500.
3,500 points. And now
Illegal.
we've got the Blood Angels. I believe this is made up of 5 formations.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll start down here.
Okay, start with the. I left my Terminators at home. I've only bought my shooty ones. So yeah, I've got my standard Archangels Orbital Intervention Force, and everything is the same. So everything has got a Thunderhammer, Storm Shield.
Yep.
Absolutely everything.
Okay.
And then
Who do you want the sergeant to be in that squad, just out of interest?
ooh, there's a guy with a gown. Oh, he's got a gown as
Yeah,
well.
there's 2 that are basically the same.
What about the guy in the air?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's close enough.
Yeah. Okay,
Cool.
guy in the air with the big shield.
Yep.
That'll do.
Excellent. Obviously flag and
Yeah,
red one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so but I should go to these guys next.
Sure.
So we've got a Chapter Ancients. Unfortunately, the Black Rage has consumed the Dreadnought, and he's become a Librarian Dreadnought of Win. So he rolled on the Technomancy discipline and rolled number 5 and 6, so Fury of Mars and Machine Flens, which isn't ideal, but I really didn't know what to go for. Maybe I should have just done the Blood Angels one, but never mind. And basically, we have 2 Furiosos, and they have the. I'm trying to work out what. Oh, they got the melter gun. They haven't got the flamer, so it's a frag and melter gun in both. Then we've got the stock drop pods, but each one has a locator beacon. Because you destroyed my one with a locator beacon last time, so I wanted to get 3. So next we've got the Death Company. Yeah, so it's just the way the list is written on here. So Death Company Strike Force. So it's generic really. So he's got a jump pack, but I haven't got the model. So jump pack. He has been upgraded to have the Gilded Crozius. So that's AP3. Instead of AP4 for his Crozius, and also gives Feel No Pain rerolls of 1. And he's going to be joining the 7-man squad. So in here we've got a Power Fist and a Power Fist. We've got a Awesome Power Fist and a Power Fist.
Okay.
So basically 5 guys, Power Fist. 5 guys, Power Fist. 2 Power Fists.
7-man squad.
And
Yeah,
a
that's
7-man
fine.
squad. And then we've got our Dreadnought, which I have given the Melter Gun and Heavy Flamer.
Okay.
So it's got the upgrade on that.
Right, we'll get next.
Should we go for the Golden Host? So we've got the Golden Host down here with the big man, Commander Dante. He is with 2 squads of identical 2 axes 3 swords, 2 axes, 3 swords.
Yep, okay.
So that's the Golden Host.
And what's this over here?
We have the... okay, so this is the Archangel's Sanguine Wing. So this is 5 Stern Guard at the back. Well, 10 Stern Guard, 5 Melters. So the Sergeant's got a combi, all combis. And unfortunately I don't have any grav. Because Blood Angels didn't have grav. So... Oh, yeah, maybe. And then they're all bolt guns. So the bolt guns are gravs, whereas the melters are actually melters. They have to go in a Storm Raven, which is kitted out with the melters and las. No side sponsons. And at the front and here, so basically they're the same, identical. We've got Sergeant in both, and basically 2 power axes in both, and the rest are all power swords. So we're depicting that there's 2 axes.
And these are Vanguard
here.
veterans.
These are Vanguard veterans, yeah. So basically, these 2 have obviously got steel axes, so that's fine. But in here, we're going to do it with the with the plasmas, so I don't have 2 axes. So the theme of this is to do as much bodies as possible and jump and basically just strike down. So Will's going to be providing the armor and the fire, and the Blood Angels are going to be deep striking and charging and probably dying, but they're going to be... I don't know, it's going to be fun to play.
Yeah.
Should be fun to play.
Okay, so that is roughly 7,000 points. Unless you're bang on anyway.
I'm 1 point over, so it's illegal.
Outrageous.
It's illegal.
I think I'm about 40 points under.
Really?
Yeah. So that is roughly 7,000 points of Dark Angels and Blood Angels and Knights.
Are you on the nose?
Okay.
Yeah,
and
7,001, sorry.
Yeah, so we'll come back to you after deployment. Okay, so here we are after deployment. Will and Alex deployed first with their first 4,000 points. We're playing Dawn of War deployment and Contact Lost. So you get one objective card at the start of your first turn, and then for each objective card you hold in subsequent turns, you draw another one. We are playing 40k rules, so we're saying everything can score, unless it's specifically not allowed to, like Galvor back or one of my tactical squads because of the bloody dark channeling roll that I rolled. But nothing at all is OBSEC, because obviously none of the detachments that we're taking actually have OBSEC. So we've got an objective, some under that Vindicator, I think, something under there. We've got one here in the middle of my bikes. We've got one on the building in the middle there. One here. One in the set of trees there. Is that 6 inches from the board edge? Down there.
No.
We'll move that a little bit if it needs to be.
Is, yeah.
So yes, that's that. Will and Alex are going first, unless I seize, which I'll do in a minute. And
I was going to say I've got the Warlord trait where I can, with Dante, I can re-roll the D3. Just the...
Yep, that's fine. And Will's Warlord trait is the Tank Hunter one, isn't it? On the Predator. Mine, Zardu Lyax is pointless, and Mortarion doesn't get one. So, yes, let's go through deployment. We have the Quad Mortar Battery on my right flank with the Rapiers just behind them. My Grave Wardens, my bikes, the Word Bearer's Contemptor, my 6-man Veteran Squad for the Death Guard in the middle, Leviathan and the Dreadnought, the Contemptor Talon. We've got my 10-man Heavy Support Squad. They've got an Apothecary joined them, and the Siegebreaker is also in there as well to give them Tank Hunter. We've got the Death Shroud. They've been joined by the Primus Medicae and Mortarion. 15-man Tactical Squad. They've been joined by an Apothecary. And we've got my 10-man Assault Squad, who have also been joined by an Apothecary in there. We're going on to the other side of the board.
Yeah, so
we've got 3 Death Company squads. With the Chaplain, I assume. Yeah, there he is. I can see him in there. The Leviathan for the Dark Angels. We've got the Land Raider with the Terminators.
2 Contemptor Cortices.
Yep.
The Whirlwind.
Scorpius, yep.
The other Land Raider with the HQ and his 2 dudes.
Yep.
And
then the Vindicator Squadron over there. Okay, so that is the end. Well, that's the end of. That's the end of the game. Well, congratulations, well played. So that's deployment. We will come back to you after turn 1.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, so that's the end of turn 1. I did not seize the initiative, so Alex and Will went first.
Not the whole of turn 1.
That's the end of it. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Absolutely right. That's the end of the movement phase. Excuse me, for the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels.
Everyone fluffed.
Apart from the Heavy Support Squad. So the Vindicators just moved up.
Yep,
12 didn't immobilise
because
himself
they're
because they're all fast because of his
free.
detachment thing. Right of War, rather.
That's moved up 6.
Yep. Scorpius hasn't moved, obviously.
2 Dreadnoughts on the other Land Raider have moved up 6.
Yep.
He only moved 3 actually because he moved through cover.
Yep, Leviathan moved.
And Leviathan moved up 6.
Those
And he's all
guys
moved
jumped up
up
12. 2 drop pods came in, so one of the Furiosos landed here, scattered back, but not enough to get past the building. And the other one came in here. My Heavy Support Squad intercepted and destroyed that Furioso. Yeah, which was quite nice. So obviously they're not firing their autocannons next turn, assuming any of them are alive. So Psychic Phase?
Yes.
Is he on the board?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so Shooting Phase, turn 1 for the Angels. Right, that's the end of turn 1 shooting, and I think that is actually the end of turn 1, isn't it? For the Blood Angels and Dark Angels, obviously. I haven't had my turn yet. So the Vindicators will start at this side.
Yep, so one of them fired at the Bike Squad.
Yep.
The other 2, because they've all got power of the Machine Spirit, well, 2 of them did.
Yep.
2 of them fired at the Terminator Squad that were there.
The Grave Wardens, yep.
Yeah. Did a load of wounds to the Bike, a load of wounds to the Terminators.
Yep, so we lost 3 bikes, all 5 Terminators, and 2 wounds off the Rapiers.
And they also hit the Dreadnought, but did nothing.
Yep. Land Raider, and in fact, both Land Raiders.
Both Land Raiders fired 1 las cannon at the Leviathan,
Yep.
and their other las cannon at the middle.
This chap in the middle, yep. No
Did
damage on the Leviathan.
No damage on the Leviathan. Did they do a hull point to the...
Maybe, yeah, I think one of them glanced it.
but
and
then
then the 2
Dreadnoughts,
Cortuses.
fired and
Yeah,
did
so he has lost his Power Fist and he's down to 1 hull point. This guy is immobilised and down to 1 hull point.
that was actually
And that was fired from the
Warwick,
Scorpius.
who fired
Yep.
at the
Up and at the Heavy Support Squad.
And also killed 4.
Yep, there's a bit of scattering obviously and landed on those guys. The Leviathan.
Shot his Storm Cannon at Mortarion.
Yep, and I laughed at you.
Sweet.
We saw this guy get intercepted. The 2 drop pods fired at the Assault Squad but didn't do any damage. This guy using whatever the rule's called.
The shot thing is you get like a double shot.
So you got double shots. Killed 3 of the Assault Squad and then 1 of the Tacticals.
Matt
so
made 11 3-up saves.
yeah, or out of 12. I have 11.
Yeah, 11,
Yeah.
all of them.
So he wounded 12 times, 1 rend, but I saved it with Feel No Pain, and then I saved all of the armour saves.
Yeah.
So everybody has passed their leadership tests who needed to.
Yep.
So that's the end of turn 1 for the Angels, and we'll go on to turn 1 for the Death Guard and Word Bearers. Coming up soon. Okay, so that's the end of my movement phase. So the end of Death Guard movement phase, turn 1. The objective I drew was secure objective 1, so that's all the way over there, so it's unlikely to happen now. Will and Alex, by the way, drew psychological warfare, but they didn't manage to make me run away, so that was quite lucky for me. So the Mortarion has split off from the Death Guard. From the Death Shroud, rather, and the Death Shroud have just moved up. These guys have stayed where they were. The Assault Squad jumped up into basically surround the Dreadnought, and the Tacticals have moved over to fire in at the Death Company just down there. This guy's immobilised. That Contemptor's just moved forwards. The Leviathan's just moved forwards and facing over that way to shoot at one of the Contemptors, probably, or maybe the Whirlwind at the back. Contemptor stayed still. Bikes have moved forwards. Veterans actually stayed still because I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with them and why I even brought them in the first place. I think it was just to make sure I had enough points in the game. And these guys stayed still as well. So there's no psychic on the table for me at the moment, so we'll come on to the shooting phase now. Okay, so that's the end of the shooting phase in turn 1 for the Death Guard and Word Bearers. So the Tactical Squad here fired at this front Death Company squad and killed 2 of them. I fired 2 bolt pistols into the back of that and threw a crack grenade at the side and missed with everything, so that was pretty useless. Mortarion has done his Shadow of the Reaper thing over there, so
to get murdered.
He's going to try and kill that Death Company squad. This guy did no damage to the front Contemptor Cortus. Nope. This guy wrecked the Whirlwind Scorpius at the back with his Storm Cannon. He did the Contemptor Mortis did nothing to the Vindicators. These guys didn't do anything because they've got nothing they can do. Bikes obviously haven't done anything either. These guys did 2 hull points, I think, to the first Vindicator.
Yep.
Didn't blow it up though. I think just shook it a couple of times.
Yep.
And then these guys fired their shatter shells at the Vindicators as well. We've destroyed the first one and we've taken 2 hull points off the second one. So that's the end of the shooting. I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. And we'll go into the assault phase. I've got bikes going into the Vindicators, hopefully. Mortarion going into, in fact, either the Death Company or the Leviathan. I haven't decided yet. And assault squad into the Furioso. So let's roll this up and come back to you in a bit. Good. Right, so that's the end of the assault phase for the Death Guard. So I charged into the Vindicators with the bikes, destroyed the one that hadn't had any wounds or hull points done off it at all, and the other one has got 1 hull point left, which is irritating. Nothing happened over here. The Death Shroud, I decided to charge them into this just to try and take out a locator beacon, but he's got 1 hull point left. Over here, the assault squad didn't manage to do anything to the Dreadnought, but he killed 2 in return, and I passed my leadership test. And then round here, Mortarion killed 2 of the Death Company, and then the Power Fist punched me back, did 2 wounds, but I saved. But I've got it will not die off at the end of my turn, so he's only lost 1 wound. So that is the end of that. I don't score my objective. Alex and Will don't score their objective. They also don't score first blood because they didn't kill anything in their turn.
Terminator Squad.
Ah, true.
Terminator Squad, absolutely.
Yes.
So we've both scored first blood, and yeah, we're going on to turn 2 now for the Angels. Too early. Right, so that's the end of turn 2 movement for the Angels. We had the Terminators come in, the Librarian came in, and that was it for the reserves. That was actually what we rolled, wasn't it? Because nothing else was until next turn.
Yeah, everything was supposed to come in.
Yeah. So the Librarian scattered off the table.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's gone into ongoing reserves. The Librarian Dreadnought, sorry. Terminator Squad tried to deep strike in here, scattered back 7, so they are barely on the table. Second one tried to come in here, scattered on top of the veterans.
Yep.
And then I placed them all the way over there, so out of the way of everything, because that's what you rolled for the thingy. And then the third one tried to come in here as well, and they scattered back onto these Terminators.
5 scatters in a row.
And they went into ongoing reserves as well. So we've got 2 Terminator squads on the table. That's all the reserves that came in. Yes, so we'll see what happens. The objective they drew was Ascendancy, so I think that's the score 3 points one. Or score 3 objectives one.
Yep.
The Vindicator has just moved forwards. He's probably going to shoot at the quad mortars. Nothing over here. The Land Raiders moved forwards a smidge.
Mm-hmm.
The Contemptors have moved forwards a little bit as well.
Yep.
Land Raiders pivoted, or did he move?
Yeah, didn't really move forward.
Okay.
Much.
Leviathan's going into Mortarion. That's not going to end well for me. The big Death Company squad with the Chaplain have come in to take on the Death Shroud, which will be an interesting fight, actually. I'm quite curious to see what's going to happen there.
I failed the charge.
And it's what, a 4?
So it's
a 6-inch charge with the terrain. So, and the other smaller Death Company squad are coming into the tacticals. So that's that. Well, obviously in the assault phase, we've still got the shooting phase now because the Librarian's off the table. So, shooting phase turn 2 for the Angels coming up. Okay, that's the end of the shooting phase, turn 2 for the Angels. The Vindicator.
I'll change it for a Leviathan if you want.
No, on 1 hull point with. So the Vindicator killed 2 of the Marines and put a wound on one of the guns here. They passed the leadership test. And then snap firing the heavy bolter. The
I'll give it a heavy bolter.
The combi bolter with power of the machine spirit. The bikes killed the guy with the power axe.
Yep.
This Land Raider fired 2 twin-link las cannons at the Leviathan, did a hull point with a glancing hit.
Yep.
The Cortus on the right that we can see there, no, my right,
Your
sorry.
right.
Fired at the Leviathan, didn't do anything. And this guy fired at this guy, I think, and didn't do anything either. And the 2 las cannons from that Land Raider at the back did nothing against the Leviathan. And the heavy bolters using power of the machine spirit failed to wound the heavy
All in
support
all,
squad.
A good round of shooting.
Oh yeah.
But basically, nothing.
4 bolt pistols
Nothing.
from the Death Company here. Got 3 wounds on the Death Shroud, but I made all the armor saves. The Leviathan obviously can't shoot because he's going to go into Mortarion. And these guys all missed.
No, he didn't miss. You made 3 saves.
No, you rolled a 1, 2, and a 2 1s and a 2, or a 1 and 2 2s or something for hitting.
Oh, okay, sorry, it was these guys.
Yeah.
You made 3 saves on
The
these
two,
guys.
the 2 drop pods fired at the tacticals, and I saved them as well. So that's the end of the shooting phase. We're on to assault. So I'm guessing the Death Company are going in there.
They're
So
about to die,
you don't need to roll it because it's an inch, and I'll just overwatch in a sec.
These guys are going to do
Yep,
that.
they need a 6.
Oh, yes.
That's an 8. So I've got Overwatch coming there as well. He's fine over there.
These guys at the back are
And
going to charge into the...
we're charging the rapiers. Okay, so that's -2. Yeah, that's fine. That's in. So right, we'll get Overwatch resolved. We'll move charges, and then we will come back to you. Okay, that's the end of turn 2 for the combined Angels force. The end of the assault phase, the Terminators destroyed the rapiers. Moving around this way, who else did anything? The Death Company destroyed that squad of Death Shroud. It was the Power Fist that just killed everything. And then they ran down the Primus Medicae, who was left alive. Mortarion lost 3 wounds and didn't do anything back. That's the end of turn 2.
Yep,
For the Angels.
We've got a few of our objectives.
Yeah, you got Psychological Warfare because you made my Primus Medicae run away.
For just 1, and then we're next to 3 objectives,
Okay.
so we've got D3, so if you want to roll that.
do I get to reroll it? He's not on the table.
It's not
It
on the
doesn't
table,
matter.
so
What does the thing say? If it says if he's part of the detachment, then you can re-roll, or if it says he's on the table, then I guess you can't. I don't know. I don't think I've ever rolled on that table of Warlord traits.
Warlord. What did I get?
I think it was
5, maybe. I don't know. Can't remember.
Well, Warlord is alive. So yeah. Hey, 3. Nice.
Okay, so score is 5 points to 1 because I've got thingy. Okay, cool. So we're going into Death Guard and Wordbearer's turn 2. I think the game's going to probably end in turn 3 because I haven't got anything coming on now, and all the reserves that are coming in a minute are going to just finish me off, I reckon. So we will see if I can at least do a bit of stuff now. So turn 2, Death Guard coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't have any... I wasn't holding any objectives, so I couldn't draw any more cards this turn, so I've still just got Secure Objective 1, which is all the way over there, so not getting that at the moment. So the Contemptor Mortis has turned round to fire at the Terminators. These guys have stayed where they are, but they're in range to shoot. The bikes are going to probably try and go after the contents of that Land Raider, if I get lucky. So will the Leviathan, if I get lucky, and he's going to try and shoot it with his multi-melter. This guy is basically pointless at the moment. I might try and fire a graviton gun, but I think I'm out of range of everything. These guys will probably shoot at a Contemptor, maybe, or possibly the Vindicator over there, depending on what I decide to. And these guys have just moved back a bit to just grab onto that objective and stop him from scoring it with his thingamajiggers. Drop pods. That's it. We're going on to shooting phase turn 2 now for the Death Guard. I think I'll be able to kill that Vindicator, at the very least.
What's shooting into that?
I haven't decided yet. Something. Maybe the heavy weapons squad. Maybe have to be the quad mortars. We'll find out. Okay, so yes, let's do it. Turn 2 shooting. Okay, that's the end of the shooting phase. Shooting phase. Turn 2 for the Death Guard. You owe me a leadership test. So the
no, probably not.
9 or 10.
Probably not 10. Probably
Okay.
9. Because it's back that way, isn't it?
Yeah, so the Contemptor killed 3 of the Terminators here. Yeah, the heavy support squad destroyed the last of the Vindicators. The Contemptor here, with his graviton gun, put a hull point on the leftmost Contemptor dreadnought over there that we can see. Tried to cheat, but Will pointed out that I was cheating, and that's fine. I didn't do it deliberately. The multi-melter and the graviton from this guy fired at that second Contemptor and put 2 hull points and a stunned result. The Leviathan blew up the Land Raider. Yeah, because I got a glance. Oh no, it was only one. I beg your pardon. You saved the graviton hit. So no wounds on the command squad and the Praetor, but I blew up the Land Raider. The bikes then didn't do any wounds there. These guys over here fired up and over frag shells, I think they're called, and did 1 wound over there, so killed a Terminator. So that's it for shooting. Assault-wise, we've got the tacticals going into the drop pod, just to try and take it out. We've got the ongoing combat round here with Mortarion, and we've got my Leviathan going in on the Praetor and the command squad there. So that's that. We'll come back at the end of the assault phase. Okay, so that's the end of the assault phase in turn 2, and that is the end of turn 2. I didn't score any victory points at all. For some reason, I thought my sergeant had melter bombs, so I charged the drop pod, and the one crack grenade I could use didn't do anything to it. My Leviathan charged the Praetor and command squad, killed one of the command squad. Will then failed his leadership test, ran away. I didn't catch him. Nothing else over here combat-wise. And over here, Mortarion killed the Death Company, and then the Leviathan killed Mortarion. Yeah. So that is an additional D3 victory points for you, because you've killed a Primarch.
Oh, really?
And my Warlord for the Death Guard. So that's an additional 1 plus D3 points, which you may as well do now. So what have we got? 2. So that's an additional 3 victory points. So that's what, 7-1 now, I think?
We're on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for first blood.
Okay, so 8 points to 1. Turn 3, coming up now. To at least score 1 point, by the way, this game. By which I mean that one card that I had down there, the knight that I can't steal off the knight. Movement phase turn 3 for the Angels now. What came in? Both knights came on for the Dark Angels, and 2 of the troop predators. Yes. The Warlord Predator and the other 2 are still off the table. For the Blood Angels, everything came in, apart from Dante and the Sanguinary Guard. We've got the 2 squads, 2 Vanguard veterans over there, using the locator beacons off the drop pods. The Librarian Dreadnought has dropped in here. First Knight, this is the Seneschal, isn't it, I think?
Oh.
It's come in here.
Yes, that's the Seneschal.
One of the Troop Predators has come in there. Third squad of Terminators dropped in there. Storm Ravens come in. At an angle, shooting at something over that side, don't know what, and the second knight came in this side. Yep. Regarding additional movement, the 2 Contemptors in the middle have moved up. Yep. Did they rally?
Oh, that's a very good point.
Because they don't automatically.
They automatically, right? Oh, no.
No, they don't rally, so how far do they run? That same again, off the table would be nice. No, so they're going 7 inches back. Yeah, so the other knights come in this side. Leviathan's just moved up, and this guy's moved around to get...
moved around as well.
Yeah, this guy's moved around to get a... this Flamer templates on it, and the Death Company have moved around that way as well. Ah, good point. Yes, so he was stunned. So that's that. We've got Psychic Phase coming up for the Angels now. Anything anyway, really.
Well, it's just...
right, so that's the end of turn 3 shooting phase. We did Psychic Phase. Essentially nothing happened. So, shooting phase. Start over here. Nothing from the Dreadnought or the drop pod. They fired into the back of the Mortis. The Knight over there fired and killed 2 of the veterans with his battle cannon and took 2 hull points off the Mortis. He's now stunned.
It's just, shaken, not stunned.
Shaken. The Leviathan lost a hull point from somewhere. Probably one of the Predators, I think, that fired at it. Yeah. Or possibly the Land Raider.
It was a las cannon.
I can't remember.
It was definitely a las cannon.
Yeah.
Of course you've got
that. And I think it's stunned as well. Isn't it? Because both Predators with both the Predator cannons and the las cannons fired at the Leviathan. And it's got, so it's stunned with down 1 hull point as well. The las cannon from the Land Raider picked off one of their heavy support guys. In fact, they did lose 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 25%. They're fine. This guy got destroyed by the Knight. Yes, it was, and he didn't hurt any of them with scattering. The Storm Raven didn't do anything. Oh, it killed the Contemptor in the middle. All of these guys fired at the heavy support squad. I think they killed 1 guy.
2 people.
One guy because it was a wound off the storm.
No, this squad killed whoever this guy's here, and this guy's everything else fired and got one wound.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Furiosa fired at the tactical squad and killed 4, I think, something like that.
Yeah, quite a lot.
And the Death Company fired and I don't think it did anything. So that's the end of the shooting phase. I failed my leadership test with the remaining 4 veterans, and they ran off the table. Everybody else has passed their leadership tests. So at the end of shooting in turn 3 for the Dark Angels and Blood Angels, I have 2 quad mortars left, one with only 1 wound left on the mortar, a stunned Contemptor Mortis with 1 hull point left, 2 bikes, a stunned Leviathan with 2 hull points left, 5 guys from a heavy support squad with autocannons, and a siege breaker on 1 wound left. Their apothecary is gone. A tactical squad here with 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 guys left with their apothecary, and that's it. So we're going into assault phase, which means the Dreadnought probably and the Death Company there are going into these guys, which means they won't be here at the end of turn 4. I don't think they can charge. The Terminators are probably going into the back of the Leviathan, which means he probably won't be here at the end of the turn. I'm guessing these Terminators are going into the Quad Mortars, which means they won't be here at the end of the turn. So I think the only thing I'll have left is a Contemptor and half a heavy support squad.
But then you'll get 3,500 points of. So
Maybe.
At least
Maybe.
The next wave's coming in.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to do anything particularly useful with them.
Oh, we'll see.
So yes, that's the end of turn 3 shooting. We'll go into assault, and we'll come back at the end of that. Okay, so that's the end of the assault phase. Alex is just finishing off his consolidation moves. The Terminators here failed their charge. Terminators in the middle actually failed their charge on the back of the... they went out to the bikes in the end and didn't get far enough.
1 inch.
The Death Company and the Furioso destroyed that assault squad, tactical squad that was there. So, yes, end of turn 3 for the Angels. We'll go on to turn 3 now for... I was going to say the Death Guard, but it's pretty much going to be the Word Bearers. And yeah, we've got 2 Vanguard squads to deal with. The remnants of Death Company, Furioso, Dreadnought, Undamaged Leviathan, Storm Raven, Knight, Land Raider, 2 Contemptors, Predator, Knight, full 4-man Terminator squad at the back, full Terminator squad in the middle, little Terminator squad here, Librarian, Dreadnought there.
That's also got a Dreadnought and 10 Sternguard.
And that's also got a Death Company Dreadnought and 10 Sternguard in it. And there's a Praetor and a command squad at the back.
And you've got that to come on, right?
And there's still 3 more Predators in reserve, and Dante, and 2 squads of Sanguinary Guard, and 5 Terminators in the Land Raider.
This is the end, beautiful friend.
Right, I'm going to go for a fag because I need it after that. And yeah, we'll be back after movement in turn 3 for the Word Bearers.
Bye.
Okay, that's in a movement phase turn 3 for the Word Bearers and Death Guard. All of my reserves turned up, which was lucky. I rolled a couple of mishaps, but it was opponent gets to place where they are. So the Plasma Squad have been placed in this corner, so they're just going to kill that Terminator Squad. That guy's stunned, so he hasn't moved. The Quad Mortars also haven't moved. My Seeker Squad came in here just in front of the Knight, and my Melter Squad came into the side just to give him something to think about as to where he puts his shield. The Dreadclaw with the Terminators in it is in the middle of the table there. No wounds on no wounds on anybody, actually, because of the heat blast thing. These guys got pinned because of the Serrated Sun Rite of War thing with the drop pods. So that Terminator squad is pinned, but nobody else is. This is Zardu, Lyak and the Blade Slaves. They were planning to come in here, but they scattered over that way. Dreadnought came in, scattered back a little bit. We've got the 2 tactical squads down here, and the Galvor back got placed all the way back over here. So that's the end of that. We've got Psychic phase, but there's nobody on the table that's a Psychic. So we'll go into the shooting phase turn 3 for the Word Bearers and Death Guard now. Actually, if I'd put them over there. Right, so that is the end of the shooting phase in turn 3 for the Word Bearers and Death Guard, and to be honest, I think that's probably the end of turn 3. because I don't think I've got anything that can charge. The majority of stuff's come in from reserve this turn, or I forgot to move it and it's too far away and it can't get through, and it would just be pointless anyway. So, yes, what happened? So the tactical squad down here and their drop pod fired at the remains of the Death Company and the chaplain. I think I killed one guy from there. This tactical squad and their drop pod fired at the Vanguard veterans, and I killed one guy from there. Fortunately, he had a power axe, which I quite enjoyed. The Dreadnought, the Leviathan, fired at the Vanguard squad that was there. The Grav Flux scattered that way and killed another one of the Death Guard, I think, but nothing else. Death Company, but nothing else. And then the Phosphex discharge opened up, and I got 21 hits, I think, and like 13 wounds or something at AP2, and they all died. So that made me feel slightly better. So going that way, there's nothing else coming here. He doesn't do anything. The Leviathan in the middle, my Death Guard one, was stunned last turn, so he just snap fired up at the Praetor and command squad over there and missed everything. The bikes fired at the Terminators. I think my first twin-linked roll, I rolled 3 1s and a 2, and then I think my twin-linked roll for those 2 bikes, I rolled like 2 2s and 2 1s or something. So cool. They were pretty awesome at shooting, I think it's fair to say. This guy can't do anything because he was also stunned last turn, so he couldn't even turn round. The Plasma squad here killed the last 2 Terminators, which has left my quad mortars relatively safe for the time being, at least, which is good. And then over here, the quad mortars fired at the Seneschal Knight. Yep. Did 3 hull points to him, I think, because Will put the shield on the side to cover himself from those melter guns there. My Seekers fired their combi melters, did 2 more hull points, I think, so he was down to 1. Yep. And then the final hull point was removed by the support squad with melters there. 3 hits, I think, out of the 5. Will saved 2 of them.
Saved 1. 2 got through.
Ah, right, okay. And 2 got through. Then he exploded catastrophically. Went back to somewhere over here. Clipped all of the Melter squad and the Praetor and command squad there. Killed one of my support squad and didn't do anything else. That was all the damage he did. So, there's one more thing I need to do at the end of my shooting phase. I've forgotten. I'm going to... flat out's in the shooting phase, isn't it? I'm going to flat out that Dreadclaw over there, so when we come to Angel's turn 4, that'll be in a different place. Just in case anyone wonders why that happens. So that's it. I didn't score any victory points that turn, but I killed a knight. So I'm quite happy about that. I'm happy about that.
700 points, man, was obviously.
With 3,500 points.
Yeah.
But fortunately, my Seekers over there are actually very safe at the moment as well, because those Terminators are pinned, so they won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, it's huge.
So that's pretty awesome. So yes, we'll get on. I'll finish off that last bit of flat outing, and then we'll get on to turn 4 for the Angel side of things.
This is a big turn.
Okay, so this is the end of the movement phase on turn 4 for the Blood Angels and Dark Angels. The Warlord Predator has come on the far left flank. These guys were pinned, so they haven't moved. The Librarian Dreadnought has moved through cover over the wall to take out the Kerry's Contemptor.
The one that came on.
Okay, cool. So he's just come on. The Praetor and command squad going after my melter guns. This guy's just turned around to face off against the Dreadclaw with the Galvor back in. This guy tried to move out of the cover and immobilised himself, which was entertaining. The Storm Raven's in hover mode, the Dreadnought's jumped out the back, the Land Raiders spun round, everything's focusing on the Dreadclaw. Terminators are out to then take on potentially the Galvor back if he manages to pop my Dreadclaw. The Stern Guard are out looking at the Dreadnought drop pod. The Leviathan is over there, I'm not sure what he's facing to shoot at.
This one.
And the Knight has moved forwards and he's looking over into that corner to take on either the tactical squads or the heavy support squad in the building. Dreadnought here and Death Company have lined up on this tactical squad, and the Vanguards are lined up to either take on the heavy support squad or the tacticals, depending on what's going on. And it looks like the Terminators in the middle are going after the Dreadclaw that has my Terminators in. So that's the end of the movement. We've got Psychic Phase coming up, and we'll come back after that. Okay, so that's the end of the turn for shooting phase for the Dark Angels and Blood Angels. What happened over here? This guy killed the last of the 2 quad mortars.
Yep.
The last of the quad mortars, even. So there's just one little crewman left over. The drop pod here killed one of the plasma squad. That Predator killed 2 of the Seekers. They've passed their leadership test. Oh yeah, the quad mortars passed their leadership test as well. And then he powered the machine spirited a las cannon into them and missed. One of them died from the explosion last time, didn't it?
Yes.
So the 2 Contemptor Cortuses fired at the Leviathan and didn't do anything at all. These guys all round here. Well, actually, the Land Raider exploded the Dreadclaw. And then the Volkites in there put a wound.
Amazing shooting.
Yeah, put a wound on this guy. The Dreadnought there put a wound on the other guy, and then he was killed by something else. I can't remember what it was. The Predator, I think.
Killed a couple.
Yeah, and then this Predator killed a couple as well. Storm Raven killed the drop pod. It was just that did it, wasn't it? It didn't do anything else, but he also missiled it as well.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah, multi-melted did the 2 because it was a mobilised and then the missile. Yeah.
And then the
3
dudes in here. So there were 3 combi gravs, and all 5 combi melters fired at my Leviathan over there and didn't do anything to it at all. The Knight here fired over. I'm just calling it like it is.
No, I'm saying to Will. Thanks for killing my guy.
Yeah.
Fired over here at this tactical squad, killed 4 of them with its battle cannon.
Yeah.
First shot of which scattered backwards this way, killed one of the Vanguard squad there. And then the heavy stubber killed the sergeant from the squad there.
Worth it to
And
kill a
the
sergeant with a heavy stubber.
Furiosa Dreadnought and the Death Company there fired at these guys and killed a few. 4 of them, maybe 5. 4 of them. So that's the end of the shooting phase. Oh, and in the psychic phase, this Dreadnought made my Contemptor Mortis snapfire in my next turn. That's all that happened there. So we're going on to the assault phase. There's probably quite a lot of stuff going to be going into various different places. So we'll come back at the end of that and, be an interesting one, I think. Okay, so that's the end of the assault phase in turn 4 for the Blood Angels and Dark Angels, and that is the end of turn 4. So what happened? The Librarian Dreadnought destroyed the Contemptor Mortis. The Terminators in the middle destroyed the Dreadclaw, and one of my Terminators died in the explosion. The 2 Contemptor Cortuses charged into my Death Guard Leviathan. I killed one of them, and in return they destroyed my Leviathan. No combats down this side. Moving around here, the Vanguard veterans killed the heavy support squad. I killed one back in return, and then they chased down the siege breaker that was in there. Down here in Overwatch, I killed the last remaining Death Company Marine, and then killed the chaplain in combat with no loss, I don't think.
No.
So it was in a challenge. Over there, the Galvorback killed 2 of the Terminators.
Yep.
Then the Dreadnought killed the remaining Galvorback. And in the middle here, Will, I'll let you explain what happened.
My Leviathan charged.
Yeah.
I was going to take him out, and then one tiny little melter shot.
Yeah.
Took him
6
4 whole
followed by
points.
whatever it was, followed by 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Watching melter is.
yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
If it works like that.
So that's the end of turn 4, I think, for the Angels.
Yes, indeed.
What happened? What's your points?
We've got marker 3, that one over there, which is 5. And marker 2.
No, we don't have mark 2 anymore.
Okay. Flying, we've got the flying. Marker 3,
we have.
which is that, it's skinny on that. And
we have.
D3 if you control at least 2 objective markers. D3 50 points if you control at least 2 objective markers and at least twice as many objective markers as your opponent. How many your opponent got?
I maybe have 1.
So yeah, we do.
So we get
D3. And that is 4. Might as well take that. Re-roll it, but
Yeah, there's no
might as well just take 2.
That's another 2.
So that's a lot. Then.
Okay, so we're going on to Word Bearers and Death Guard turn 4 now.
How did we get this one?
That was 3. You rolled a 5
yeah.
6. You rolled a 5 or 6 for it. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
And
Cool.
Warlords
And
and
then First blood.
Yeah.
And save order.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh no, that's. Are you still recording?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's like 16 points to 1
It's
at
a
the
lot
moment.
of points
So,
to 1.
so turn 4, Word Bearers and Death Guard coming up.
No, that ain't the flagship.
The red tea.
Right, okay, so that is the end of turn 4 movement for the Word Bearers and Death Guard. So the Tactical Marines here have just moved around to get some rear shots into the Furioso, and then they're going to be charging it because I've got a Power Fist. The Tacticals here are getting some shots in on the Vanguard veterans. The Dreadclaw, the units have split up, so we've got the Librarian and the Centurion have got out. They're going to Psychic Shriek all over the place just for some fun. And Zardu-like and the Blade Slaves are going after the Terminators. The Bikes are going to go after the Librarian Dreadnought. The Terminators over here are going to go after the Contemptor Dreadnought. The last remaining guy from the Quad Mortars is running over this objective. The Plasmas are going to shoot somewhere over here. I haven't decided where yet. The Seekers and the Melter Guns have lined up against the Terminators, probably. I'm not entirely sure. And the Contemptor in the middle is going to go after the Storm Raven. The card I drew this time was Harness the Warp, so that's quite handy. I should be able to get at least 1 point for that, I hope. So let's do the Psychic phase and we'll come back in a bit. Okay, so that's the end of the Psychic phase. We got Cursed Earth on Zardu and his Blade Slaves. We cast Psychic Shriek then from each of these two guys, the Centurion and the Librarian. The Centurion, his cast was... they were both successful, but the leadership test wasn't high enough to do any damage, and then I killed 4 with the Psychic Shriek from the Librarian. So we'll go on to the shooting now, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's the end of turn 4, I think, shooting for the Word Bearers and the 2 remaining Death Guard models I have on the table, which are those 2 bikes down there. So that was a surprisingly wonderfully good shooting phase. I think you need a leadership test on that squad down there.
I do.
Okay, so what happened? Right, the tactical squad here, shooting bolters into the back of that dreadnought, managed to destroy it. It was only had 1 hull point left, so it wasn't too bad. You did the leadership test there. These guys fired at the vanguards in the building, but didn't do any damage. And then there was a bolt pistol coming in from the Centurion round there that also didn't do any damage. 2 plasma pistols and the heavy flamer thing that he can fire did no damage to the Terminators. The plasma squad fired at the drop pod and took off 2 hull points. That guy ran. I can't remember if I mentioned that in the movement phase. The biker sergeant fired his bolters into the back of the Librarian Dreadnought and managed to take off its last hull point, so that died as well. Plasma blaster. Oh, and a couple of these guys died from Gets Hot as well, which is the way it goes, I suppose, really, isn't it? With plasma. Plasma blaster here did nothing to the front of the Contemptor. I didn't shoot the combi weapons this turn. The Leviathan fired at the Storm Raven. I missed with the Melter Gun, but the Grav Flux Bombard didn't do any damage to the Storm Raven, but killed 3, I think, of the guys at the back there, which I think are the combi Melter guys.
Yeah, they'd already fired, but
yeah. Over here, we snap fired the
Seekers?
Scorpius bolts.
yeah.
Scorpius bolts from the Seekers, because I moved them a little bit because I forgot that they were heavy weapons at these guys, but didn't do anything. And 4 Melter Guns blew up the Predator that was there. So that's the end of the shooting. All leadership tests that have been required were passed. We're going into assaults now. I've got 1, 2, 3 that I can think of. Terminators in the middle into the Contemptor, Zardu-like and the Blade Slaves into the Terminators, and the Leviathan into the Storm Raven. And I'm tempted possibly to charge the Centurion and Librarian into the Vanguard in the middle, but we'll see what happens there in a second. So that is that. We'll come back at the end of the assault phase in turn 4. So that's the end of turn 4, assault phase for the Word Bearers and Death Guard, and that's the end of turn 4 completely. So assaults. These guys down here tried to charge into the Vanguard, but didn't roll far enough. The Leviathan charged into the Storm Raven and blew it up. No damage from the explosion. The Blade Slaves and Zardulayak went into the Terminators, killed 4 of them, and no damage done in return. And then over here, in Overwatch, Will killed the guy with the Chain Fist.
Yep.
And then before I had a chance to swing with the Power Fist, Will killed both of the Power Fists. So now there's a dude stuck there with a Lightning Claw, which is completely pointless.
But he has
he can't do anything. He doesn't anymore. So that was great. Turn 5, Dark Angels and Blood Angels coming up now.
Not that great.
Just one other thing to say. I scored a point for Hungry for Glory, and I scored 1 point for Harness the Warp, because I cast 3 spells, but I only rolled a 1 on the D3. So we're going on to turn 5 for the Angels. Okay, so that's turn 5 movement for the Blood Angels and Dark Angels. I was out of the room.
Yep.
What happened?
Predators moved up.
Yep.
Terminators have moved up.
Yep.
That Predator came on.
Yep.
And is going to shoot them.
Yep.
They've just moved around a bit closer.
Okie dokie.
Everything else has just moved up to pivot and put some firepower into various things.
Mm-hmm.
The Leviathan. Stuff's moved around to get the Knight in place who's there. The Terminator's got back in the Land Raider, and it's just turned around. Don't know what's happening over there.
So nothing's happened over here because I haven't got anything. But here they've dropped down with the aim to charge there.
Yep.
They've come off here with the aim to charge here.
Yep.
The Dante and his posse have deep struck in there and looking to see how that combat goes.
Yep. That's it, isn't it?
Pretty much it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to the no psychic phase. We're going to the assault phase. Shooting phase.
No,
Shooting phase is coming up. It's not intentional. Okay, that's the end of the shooting phase. I actually owe you a leadership test. I need to remember to do that. So his support squad, they're fine. Or support squad, rather, with the melters down here. So while we're looking down here, the Predator killed 3 of the melter support squad. This Predator here killed 1 of the plasma support squad over here. Mm-hmm. That Predator... Is that the one that did the 2 hull points?
That one did the 2 hull points, yeah.
So that Predator in the centre fired at my Leviathan, did 2 hull points, it's stunned, and the claw is gone. The Knight fired its stubbers at the Leviathan so it can charge it, and then fired its battle cannon down at the bikes.
Precision shots.
Killed the biker sergeant, and then it scattered over here and put a wound on one of the Blade Slaves.
That was just amazing.
And then the drop pod, I think, killed the last of the bikers.
Oh, yes.
These guys didn't do anything with their shooting. These guys didn't do anything with their shooting, and the drop pods killed 1 of the tactical marines there.
I used up my last grav on that, and it did
Yeah. So basically that's it. So we're on to the assault phase now. Turn 5 for the Angels. Makes no difference right now. Okay, so that's the end of turn 5 assault phase for the Blood Angels. Down here, the Vanguard veterans killed 2, I think, or maybe 3, I can't remember, and I killed 1 in return. Down here, I killed 2 of the Sanguinary Guard, and they killed my Centurion. Here, one of the Blade Slaves died, and 2 of the Sanguinary Guard died, but that was it. The Leviathan got D'd to death. That guy survived, miraculously. Yep. The Contemptor didn't kill him. And over here, the Praetor made short work of the last remaining Melter Gun guy, and these guys killed the Seekers. Score?
17.
17-2. I like it.
Is it?
Oh no, 3. Sorry, 3, because I've got 2 points in Slay the Wall and First Blood.
Is it worth calling after your turn?
Sure. So turn 5 coming up now. It's going to take me about 10 minutes probably, so we're back in a bit. Okay, so we've done movement, psychic, shooting, and the majority of the assault phase. We've got 1 final fight left to go, and we're going to call it at the end of that because it's getting ridiculously late here and everyone's really knackered. So what happened? The movement phase, not very much, because I haven't really got very much left. The tactical squad basically charged the drop pod and blew it up with a melter bomb. Nothing happened in this combat down here. My 2 drop pods killed 2 of the Stern Guard there, but he passed his leadership test. Down here, we've done a wound to each other, so I've killed a Sanguinary Guard and he's put a wound on my Librarian. Nothing going on over there. In combat, that Contemptor has just this very second killed my Terminator. I was convinced he was going to last the whole game. And over here, that guy shimmied around a little bit, kind of. And my Plasma Squad fired at the Predator, who was the Warlord over there, took 2 hull points off him, and then one of my guys exploded with Gets Hot. So at least we're consistent in that respect. So the last combat we have to do, and because it's the last session, the last part of the game, we'll film it, is this combat here with...
The last combat of 7th edition.
It is for us anyway, yeah. So we've got Dante, 3 Sanguinary Guard, and a Terminator up against 1 Blade Slave and Zardu Layak. So Dante goes first with 5 attacks.
Yes. Hitting on
3s.
Mastercrafted.
Yep.
Come on. Okay, so 3.
Yep.
And
Strength 6.
So 6.
So 3s.
So 2.
2 wounds. I have a 4 up. Oh, because we did the psychic phase as well. I got Cursed Earth on those guys. So it's 4s to save. 1 more wound. So we take that on him. Because Zardu and the Terminator are in a challenge. So the Blade Slave attacks now. With his 3 attacks. He hits on 3s, because your majority weapons goes 4. That is 2 hits. He is strength 6, so that's 2s to wound. Yeah, it's 2 to wound.
I can take it on Dante, yeah?
You've got 2 up. You've got 2 up save anyway, because they're just it's AP 3.
Okay. So
okay, and then Zardu attacks the Terminator because he's also initiative 5, and he misses completely because he's brilliant.
Well done, Zardu.
So so
now we've got 2 swords,
which are 2 attacks each. No.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 attacks. So the first one, Mastercrafted. Yep. So 1 hit, and the second one, yep. So 3 hits. So to wound,
5s.
1.
Okay. And then I've got a 4 up invulnerable on that, which I failed, so the Blade Slave is dead.
Okay.
So we've now got the Force Axe. The glaive, the axe in Karma, or whatever the hell it's called.
No, Mastercrafted. Yep.
Okay.
And
4s?
no.
3s.
And then the
It's only toughness 4 now.
Oh, okay. Oh, cookies.
That's it.
And the
Oh, the Terminator.
Terminator.
Yeah.
2
I
attacks.
could insta-kill him now.
Yeah.
1 hit.
Come on, insta-kill him for the last roll of...
6.
Okay.
Fail that.
4 up invulnerable. See what happens. Last roll of ours, 7th edition. I'm sorry, I need to. Will is crouched.
excited.
He's crouched over the table. So is Alex. Right. So let's see what we do.
Come on.
Oh!
He lives.
Oh, that's not good.
He lives. He's going to die horrendously. Okay. So that is going to be the end of the game. I didn't score psychological warfare. I didn't score overwhelming firepower, and I didn't score secure objective 1. So in total, I got 3 points. How many points did you get?
17.
18 if we count First Blood as well.
Yeah.
18 points to 3. Okay, so that was 7,000 points of
As a long
Word Bearers and Worldy and Death Guard.
When did we start?
9 hours or something.
Yeah.
Going up.
First dice was rolled 7 hours ago.
Yeah, and that was up against 7,000 points of Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and Imperial Knights.
Yeah.
Because
well.
Wait till 8.
okay, so it was quite good fun actually.
I
managed to kill a lot more than I thought I would. I had no idea I was actually going to be able to kill a knight.
Not in terms of
Very
points,
surprising.
In terms of stuff killed, your Word Bearers were very impressive.
Significantly better than the Death Guard.
Yeah.
But that's just because of the stuff I've got for the Death Guard, I think, more than anything. So that was very much fun. We very much hope you enjoyed it. And we will be trying to get some videos out as soon as 8th drops, realistically. And yeah, we hope you've enjoyed our 7th edition reports. And please continue to follow us and drop us comments and just chat and stuff. And like and subscribe. Yeah, there you go. Stealing my line. All right. Thanks very much, guys. Enjoy, and we'll catch you in 8th edition.
Yeah.